all ready? Are you ready? Hi, I'm Joe Pelle. I'm the Boulder County Sheriff. Boulder County is experiencing a disaster today that is broad in scope and very dangerous in nature. We know that we've lost lives. We anticipate that as the day goes on, that we may find that we've lost others. This has been a devastating storm, particularly in the mountains. The areas in the foothills, particularly the towns of Jamestown, Lyons, and the lower canyons have all suffered a tremendous amount of damage. We've lost roads, we've lost bridges, we've lost homes, cars, and we are just now beginning to try to assess the scope of the damage. We have, throughout the night, been frustrated in our efforts to get to the mountains and to get up those canyons and to see what's going on by enormous rock slides, washed out roads, and the inability to get to the folks who are trying to provide aid and do rescues in the mountains. For that reason, we're still in the very, very early stages of even trying to assess what we've had happen to us. We have resources from various search and rescue groups, either here or en route. That includes Swift Water Rescue, the FEMA Urban Search and Rescue Team. We've called in a number of resources from the Colorado National Guard, including vehicles that can go through deep water and over debris. We've ordered helicopters, which are currently grounded because of the low cloud deck and the heavy weather. And we are amassing a large-scale effort to get into those mountains and those foothills and see what we've got, try to help people. We know that, for instance, in the Town of Lyons, they are completely isolated at this point. There's no access in and out. They've lost their sewer plant, they've lost their fresh water, they've lost their market. People are huddled on high ground, and we are trying desperately to get to them, to bring them supplies like water. I have 4 deputies currently there in the town that are in communication with our command post, providing us information. People are, as far as we know, safe there, not hurt, we hope. But the effort to get there is being continually frustrated. And of course, we're very concerned about the forecast of continued bad weather and heavy rain.
Sheriff, we're getting reports possibly another 2 to 3 dead in Boulder. Have you heard anything of that?
I can only confirm that I've been told personally about 2 deaths, one in or near Jamestown in a structure, and one in the 200 block of Linden in the creek. As I said, this was a devastating overnight storm in the dark, and I anticipate that as the day goes on, we are likely to find other people who are the victims of the storm. But I have no way of knowing the size or scope of that. I hope and pray that's not true, but we're bracing ourselves for the worst.
Can you tell us more about the additional
Boulder's had
effort
other
coming in?
devastating floods here.
Mm-hmm.
This one, though, is different, right? Because it's in all of the drainage.
Yeah, this Boulder historically has had some very devastating floods. The last one that I remember was in 1969. I actually was alive then. That storm was bad, but it was in 1 or 2 drainages. The difference with this storm is it is impacting every drainage in our county from the St. Vrain all the way to Cold Creek Canyon. We've lost structures, homes, cars in all of those drainages, and we're losing. We just lost a major road a few minutes ago, US 36, the North St. Vrain, washed out at Longmont Dam Road. It's completely gone. There is no road there anymore, and that just happened a few minutes ago. So this event is not over. It is far from over. It's continuing to build. What happens after the initial surge of rain is debris begins to build behind overpasses and bridges and in culverts. It dams, it causes water to back up, it causes tremendous amounts of pressure, and then those things blow out. So even as the rain dissipates and the danger appears to sort of pass, we continue to have bad news. We continue to be informed of issues that are going to compound and frustrate our efforts to get to folks in the mountains.
Sure. How long will it be before you're able to get up into the mountains and try to assess what you've got up there?
It depends on what part of the mountains. We were told, I was told a little while ago by our road and bridge folks that they felt confident they could probably plow through Sunshine Canyon and get that open in the next couple of hours. That would be our first actual east-west ingress or egress all night. So we're hoping to see that happen, and we're hoping to see, other canyons begin to open up. What I'm told is that in some of those places there are 9 and 10-foot debris walls with 6 to 8 feet of water backed up behind them. So it's very dangerous to start digging into them without a lot of assessment and a lot of caution.
What do you say to people who live downstream because of those debris walls
What I-
breaking free? And, even if they're not flooded right now, are evacuations being done?
We are not doing evacuations, and we haven't been doing a lot of evacuations because it's very dangerous to put people in their cars on the road during flash flooding. What we've been doing all night is warning people that there's flash flooding that's going to occur, that has been occurring, and they need to seek shelter and high ground. So the difference between this and, let's say, a wildfire is we put people at greater risk often by putting them in a car on the road. More people are killed in cars in flash flooding than any place else. So we're very cognizant of that, and that's the reason we don't do evacuation orders unless we have very controlled circumstances and we know which way to send people and how they can get out.
Sheriff, we've heard on scanner traffic that there have been people stranded up there, maybe up in trees, that type of thing. I don't know if you've had firefighters stuck up there or just regular residents. Can you address that?
We have had individuals trapped. I know that there was a gentleman trapped in a tree for a long period of time who I've been told is an ex-firefighter. I don't know his status. I know that we had a crew from Lyons Fire Department have their truck inundated and washed out, and that crew's been stuck on the side of a mountain above Longmont Dam Road for a long period of time. We're concerned about hypothermia, we're concerned about injury, we're concerned about all those things, and yet we're unable to get to folks through no fault of any rescuer or any rescue agency. It's just completely inaccessible. We hope that as the sun comes up and maybe some of the fog breaks, maybe the cloud deck will lift, we will get helicopters in the air. We also have ordered, as I said earlier, a large number of resources from the National Guard. We've ordered 7 3-vehicle teams. We have a 42-person FEMA urban search and rescue team. Some of them are already here and starting to work. We have a number of resources on order in addition to all the local fire districts and search and rescue groups. But this is not your ordinary day. It is not your ordinary disaster. And all the preparation in the world, all the want to in the world, can't put people up those canyons while those walls of water and debris are coming down.
It seems like a big part of the problem right now is north and west of Boulder, but for years you guys have worried about Boulder Canyon itself. I asked you this question a little bit earlier. Do you think the worst is behind us, or do you think the worst is yet to come?
I'm not going to begin to predict what's going to happen. I know the Weather Service and your forecasters have been working hard to get us information. It doesn't look very good as far as a cessation in the rain. It looks like it's going to continue. The question always is, where does it land? Which way does it move? How slow does it go? All those things. We have absolute ground saturation right now. Any water that comes down is going to run off and go into those drainages. So I think we have a continuing very dangerous situation, probably for today and well into tomorrow and the next day, depending on the weather and the movement of these storms.
Are you telling people to stay out of canyons specifically?
Absolutely. I'm telling people I would prefer that people stay home. Even out here on the flats, we have lost bridges and culverts and roadways all the way out into the flat areas of Boulder County, east to 287. Roads are impassable. There are traffic lights out in a number of places. It's not a good day to travel. It's not a good day to risk you or your kids or your loved ones' lives or safety to go out and do things. It's a good day to hunker down and watch the news and find out what's going on.
Because Boulder Creek comes into that downtown area and Pearl Street sits low, what is the state of Boulder Canyon, Boulder Creek at this point?
I'm going to let Sarah from the city manager's office talk about that a little bit. Of course, our biggest concern is always our largest population centers, because that's where all the folks are, and that's our priority, are the people. So.